Hi there, my name is Tracy. This is the 3-Wick Thesis candle channel, and today I have for you a ranking video. I think I'm just going to call it a lit review because that's kind of what it is. And this is for any sort of candle that has embers, fireplace, bonfire, or smoke in the scent notes in my entire collection. There are a total of 13 candles that I'm going to share with you. I'm going to go over the cold impression, scent notes, wax, and the label so you get an idea of kind of the vibe of the candle. Then I will come back after the cut and share with you insights into things like strength and throw and burn footage so you know what they look like when lit. And I will do both a cold ranking and a warm ranking, just like I do in my other lit review episodes. The only difference is with this one, it is a type of candle, not a specific collection from a specific retailer. So I have candles here from HomeWorx, Bath & Body Works, Village, Goose Creek, and I think there's one other kind of lingering brand in there. We'll see when we get to it. This was a request put in by Mary. Hi, Mary. Hello, puppy dog. Our dog always barks at my cats. Hopefully they don't make a scene today. But Mary sent me a request and just said, hey, I'd really like some insight into kind of what the best Smoky Embers candle is that is coming up this fall. So this is everyone that's in my collection. Some of these are not available. Some of them I think are not available yet, but probably will be. So either go through your stash and see if you have these or order them or wait and hope they come back out, basically is where I'm at on this. I'm just going to dig into the pile. I'm not going to go in any specific order, and I'm going to start with the HomeWorx candle just because it is on top, mostly because of its bulkiness, and that is the Mischief and Magic candle from HomeWorx, the Slatkin & Co. I got this on Shopcash, through Shopcash. This was a reward, so every time I buy from Goose Creek, I go through the Shop app. You get points, and then when you get enough points, you can cash them in for a candle. So I think I had to pay for shipping. I think it was like $8 for me to get this candle through Shopcash. This has scent notes of dark cherry, woodland cranberry, cinnamon spice, and smoked cherry wood. It is woody and it feels a bit juicy from the fruit that's in here. That dark cherry is really nice. It's very red cherry, fruity, deep juicy, not medicinal or too tart. And then the smokiness is just perfect, and it does smell like a cherry wood. You can use cherry wood in like barbecue or like smoking meat, and it reminds me of that kind of scent. I don't get a lot of the cranberry. I think it's masked by the cherry. And the spice note is there, but it's subtle, and it is more of a like woody cinnamon, like a cinnamon bark, more so than a cinnamon baking note or like a cinnamon spicy hot. The labels on these Slatkin & Co. candles are always gorgeous. So you've got what looks like some sort of magic book with like sparks coming out of it, like you just cast a spell. And then it's got the classic HomeWorx lid. This one I have burned once already. I burned it when I first got it. White wax, and then it's a 4-wick, and it always has the curly wicks with Slatkin & Co. So that's the first one. I really like that one on cold. I don't remember how it did on warm. Again, we will find out. Marshmallow Fireside from Bath & Body Works is the next one I'm going to pull out. I picked this up for Summer Sass. I burned this last year. I actually really love this fragrance. I didn't buy a backup for some reason, but I have a couple now. It's toasted marshmallow, smoldering woods, fire roasted vanilla, and crystallized amber. It is mostly a ooey gooey warm marshmallow, but then there's like a hint of perfuminess from the amber that's in here. And the marshmallow has just beautiful kind of fullness and toastiness to it. It does smell like you took a marshmallow and stuck it in a fire and then pulled it out. And it's got a little bit of that char on it, and it's ooey and gooey. Smells just like that with like a hint of perfuminess from the crystallized amber. This one is not the same label as the one that's out this fall. This is the new label here. So you won't find this one. However, I think the fragrance is going to be the same. This one has white wax, and these are medium ropey wicks, and it has a white barn lid even though I don't know that this is actually a White Barn candle. That might just be because it was a SAS candle. That lid also looks super short to me. But it could be White Barn, I don't know. And I love this from last winter, this beautiful, it looks like wrapping paper to me. So that is Marshmallow Fireside. Pumpkin Bonfire. One of my favorites from Bath & Body Works. This is also last fall's. This is out this fall. Here's the new label of this one, so you're going to get a different look. I started burning this last fall. This was my second one that I got through. So I can't tell you what sort of wicks those are, but they look like the thin, stiff, ropey wicks. White wax. And this is White Pumpkin, a bundle of clove buds and glowing embers. To me, this is a beautiful clove candle first, and then the glowing embers note just adds this beautiful, deep, woody note that doesn't go cologne-y, and it also doesn't feel super smoky to me. It just feels very rich and woody. And then I feel like there's like an aspect that feels almost creamy, probably coming from the pumpkin, and a little bit warm and cinnamony. So you're getting the clove, but I also feel like there's a hint of some other sort of warm spice in there. This one is one of my favorites, probably all time at Bath & Body Works. Christmas Cabin is another one from Bath & Body Works. Same collection as the Marshmallow Fireside, only this one has the red wraparound. This has not come out yet. I would be absolutely shocked if it doesn't come out this winter. So we have Fall 2 and Fall 3 left still to land. I think Winter 1 comes out sometime in October. So be on the lookout. That I'm sure it will come back. It comes back all the time. And this one is also phenomenal. Spiced Clove, Crackling Fireplace, and Cozy Cabin. Again, it is very much a clove candle. However, there's also just this sense of warmth. It literally feels like you're sitting in a wood cabin with a fireplace going. It's not smoky though. It just feels like you're sitting next to a pile of firewood and the fire is going, but it's not smoky, and you're warm and cozy with some cinnamon sticks on the Christmas tree. Except there's not a balsam note in here. Yeah, it's woody and clovey. If you don't like clove, you won't like this candle. I do like clove. I think it's delicious. White wax, and these are thin, stiff, ropey wicks. These came with the decorative lid last year too, which is why I think that lid is wrong. I don't think it's a White Barn. Womp womp, discontinued. Stranger Things, The Upside Down. I know this one isn't available, but if you have it in your stash, this is a good one to pull out for fall. I'm going to have this in my October rotation. It is Mossy Stone, Smoky Birch Tree, and Eerie Fog. I am not always a fan of moss, and I am not always a fan of birch, but I love it in this candle. It is fresh. It feels a little bit like a eucalyptus or almost like an evergreen note that's in here. There's something that almost smells sappy sweet. But then it's also kind of dark and earthy and mysterious. It is so well done, and I'm going to miss this candle. I have 2 more of these, and when they're gone, I'm going to be so sad. I bought this at Winter Sass. There were a lot left, along with Demogorgon. A little bit cologne-y. Yeah, beautiful label too. I love how this looks. The red, white, and blue. It's kind of creepy and eerie. Black accent lid. I have burned this one. White wax, and those look like, yeah, those are medium ropey wicks. Looks like I've only done 1 burn on this one. I'm realizing already this is very hard to rank because I love them all so much. From Village, I'm including Forbidden Forest in this review. Love the green color on this one. You've got a picture here of some forest. Looks like there's little like magic orbs all over the place. This has way more scent notes than what's on the front, but in my experience, the ones on the front label are the best at describing what this smells like. It's pine, herbaceous, cedarwood, and smoke, and this is by Village Candle Company. It is very light on cold. I have some reservations about what this will smell like on warm. On cold, I'm getting mostly woodiness, and it just feels like a raw wood with just a hint of smokiness to it. And then some very fresh, bright, more of a green note. Not quite grassy, but definitely something in there that's fresh. Almost a little bit soapy, mixing with the woodiness of the smoke that's in here. Village always has 2 wicks, and their wicks are always very, very, very tiny. For the most part, I don't trim Village wicks because they're self-managing, and their wax pool is always very clean. You get very little residue, very little sooting from these. However, I have a history of struggle with strength and throw on these guys, so we'll see how that one does. Another Bath & Body Works that I haven't seen for a couple of years, and that is Fireside. I'm hoping this one comes back this year because this is the only one I have, and I lucked out and found this at my outlet store. This is smoked cedar, fresh clove bud, warm embers. So again, you've got clove in there, you've got embers. Yeah, this smells a lot like Christmas Cabin. I think the only difference is I feel like I get more of a wood note in this, like an actual, it just straight up smells like wood. And then the clove is secondary, whereas I feel like with Christmas Cabin, the clove is dominant and that wood note is secondary. Yeah, but they're very similar. Classic single wick, white wax, and then it's a wraparound label with words. Again, this one is not currently out. Check your stash if you've got one. Break it out this fall. Or hope that it comes out with one of the holiday releases. Moonlit Slowdance by Goose Creek I'm also including in this list. Now this one doesn't specifically have a like fireplace smoky slash embers note, but it does have a toasted note, and it's toasted marshmallow, and it reminds me a little bit of the Marshmallow Fireside, so that's why I'm including it. This one is toasted marshmallow, vanilla whiskey, plus the whiskey adds a little bit of smokiness, warm sandalwood, and moonlight amber. Yeah, and on cold, this feels very woody, very earthy. You get a sweetness from the whiskey that's in here. The marshmallow is both ooey gooey, but also feels like a little bit nutty from that caramelized scent from it being toasted. And then the amber adds just a hint of like resinous, almost perfuminess to it. The labels on this collection are really fun. That kind of looks like a national parks badge on this collection, and there's going to be at least one more in here from Goose Creek from this same collection. And then a beautiful colored kind of frosted glass stainless steel lid, and this one is white wax, and this was I think these were thin stiff ropey wicks. Yeah. Another one from that collection, Campsite Embers. So you've got the same sort of label with the cute little tent and the campfire, more of a beige color, same lid. And if I recall, all the candles in this collection have the same wax and same wicks. This has scent notes of smoked woods, glowing embers, and leather hiking boots. I love this candle. Oh, it's earthy, it's woody. That leather note is just beautiful, and it does actually have a very strong smoke note to it. It literally feels like I am smelling leather while sitting in the forest next to a campfire. Phenomenal. I don't know how they did it. This has probably been the most impressive candle I have reviewed so far of the fall collections that I've reviewed. It's just a stunner. It's just gorgeous. Fall Fireside, also a new collection from Goose Creek that was recently released. This one is Crunchy Leaves, Smoked Cedar, and Fireplace Embers. This one also has a very strong smoky note. It's almost like liquid smoke level smoky. A little bit cologne-y. I feel like that's probably coming from the cedar note that's in here. And then you get this like earthy, it's both earthy and a little bit aquatic. So how you would imagine dead leaves smelling in kind of a wet forest. Yeah, gorgeous. I also really like the label on this collection. It's got kind of like this gold belt with the border, log cabin in the background with a pile of firewood, beautiful fall forest in the background, gold lid. brown wax, and these were thin, stiff, ropey wicks. Whole collection had the same wicks, but not the same wax color. Oh, where do I put this one at? Campfire Leaves from that same collection is next, also by Goose Creek. So similar label with the belt and the border. Another Bonfire. This one is in like the forest, so you get this kind of dark, gloomy with a little sunrise or sunset in the background. Same lid, same wicks. This one has kind of a brownish purple color wax. Scent notes on this one are brandied apple, charred chestnuts, fallen leaves, and glowing embers. And I love, love, love this candle. The brandied apple in this is so beautiful. It's boozy, but without smelling like alcohol. It just reads like a very sweet, syrupy apple. And then you have the earthiness and the nuttiness coming from that charred chestnut. So you get this just intense, nutty chestnut note with the earthiness of the leaves, and the embers add this like smoke note. It is so complex. And just so gorgeous. It is so beautiful. Y'all, this also was a stunner. Right up there with the other one with the leather and firewood. I absolutely love this candle. It may have just shown up one of my longtime loves over here. Bonfire Blanket is a part of that parks kind of style collection. So you've got, I think it was technically Wilderness collection. So the same sort of label, another bonfire, the frosted glass with this one's more of a red color, same wax, same wicks, same lid. Now this one I included, although I don't really know that this necessarily feels all that much like a bonfire candle to me. It's bonfire marshmallows, bourbon vanilla, caramelized amber, and cashmere musk. And with that bonfire marshmallow and the bourbon vanilla, I would expect to get more smokiness and woodiness from this. But y'all, this is really a perfumey marshmallow fragrance to me. The marshmallow does not come through at all on cold as being smoky or toasted. The amber and the cashmere musk both feel pretty strong. It's warm, but it's also perfumey. So you have this like ooey gooey sweet edible with this perfumey, warm, inedible. It's a beautiful fragrance. It reminds me a lot of like That's So Vanilla from Goose Creek, warm vanilla sugar from Bath and Body Works. It's beautiful, but it does not compare with these other ones in terms of woody, smoky. So I'm including it because it has the word bonfire in it. But I don't think it really belongs. Yeah, I can't remember if I showed you the wax and wicks, but just in case, there they are. Okay. And the last one. Oh, my baby, I love this one. Now, this one is not out yet. However, from what I understand, it comes out every year at Goose Creek. I did not realize how popular this candle was last year. I bought one to try it, loved it, went back to immediately order like 3 more. They were sold out. So keep your eye out when Goose Creek starts launching their winter collections. You want to buy backups of this right away if it sounds appealing to you, and that is the Holiday Embers from Goose Creek. Loved the label last year on this as well. By the way, this is my last one, so I am literally going to fire this up just to remind myself of how beautiful it is on warm, and then I'm not burning this anymore until I know this is coming back because I'm hoarding this thing. These are thin curly wicks, surprisingly enough. White wax, had some sooting issues, you can tell at the top there. This has scent notes of winter fireplace, cedar, clove, cinnamon, fir, crackling embers. Oh, I love it. I love this one so much. It is woody. It's actually affecting my mouth. It is very dry. There is something so dry about this fragrance. When you sit next to a fireplace, your skin kind of gets dried out, your mouth gets dried out, your sinuses get dried out. And when I sniff this, my mouth actually reacts as if I'm sitting next to a real fire, and I feel like it gets dried out. It is a very woody, cinnamon barky fragrance. Now it does say clove in here, but I get more cinnamon than clove in this one. The clove is in there, but it's dominated by just a very barky cinnamon note. The fir in here is deliciously sweet and piney without being like a fir candle. This is a cinnamon wood candle first, and that fir just adds this like nice, sweet, warm complexity in the background. It's smoky and fireplacey without going the way of liquid smoke, and I don't get cologniness, I don't get perfuminess. It is just an authentically beautiful cinnamon clove firewood fragrance. Oh, I would wear this as a body spray. I love this one so much. So I mean, I don't even have to tell you where that one's going. You should know in terms of ranking. So let me run through my ranking real quick. In last place, because I can barely smell it on cold, is the Village Candle Forbidden Forest. Next, I would do the Bonfire Blanket, only because I feel like it doesn't really belong in this collection. Next, I would do Fireside by Bath & Body Works, mostly because this just feels like a wannabe Christmas cabin. It's good, but I would just burn Christmas cabin, I think, if I didn't have that one. Next, I would do Mischief and Magic. I really like this one, but y'all, I love the ones in front of it. So it's not even a judgment or like this one isn't a good smell. It's beautiful. I love the fruitiness in here, but the other ones are just more phenomenal. Next, because that liquid smoke smell is so strong, I would do Fall Fireside. It's a little bit off-putting on cold. Then I would do Moonlit Slowdance. I love this one, but it kind of reads a little bit too feminine, maybe a little too body care on cold. I think that's probably because of that marshmallow, vanilla, and sandalwood in there, maybe a little bit of amber. It's beautiful, but I don't feel like it's quite the ember, firewood, fireplace, smoky as the others are. Upside Down would be next in line. Love the mysterious vibe of this one, and it is very woody. Marshmallow Fireside. This one is super gourmandy and sweet, but I just love it, so I'm bumping it up higher. Again, I'm not sure it necessarily vibes with some of the more smoky ones in this collection. Christmas Cabin would be next. Love the clove note in that and just how strong it is, the woodiness. Phenomenal Campsite Embers. Love how they combined the wood notes and the kind of fiery notes with the leather in that one. Pumpkin Bonfire, it's got to be in the top two. The clove, the woodiness, it's just gorgeous. Top three, I forgot about the brandied apple one. Campfire Leaves is number 2. I just love the complexity of this one. I love the chestnut with that brandied apple. It is phenomenal. And number 1, no question, Holiday Embers. I actually get like dopamine release just staring at this label. I love it that much. Like I don't have to smell it. I just see the label and I'm like, oh, that's the Holiday Embers. So this one's a winner. I think this might still be number 1 on warm impression, but we'll see. One of these might surprise me and I might realize I like those better now. Okay, I'm going to take a cut now here, take a break. I'm going to go burn these, get a refresher of things like strength and throw, how they evolve on warm. I'll get some burn footage for you, and then I will come back and share with you my findings. I'll be right back. All right, y'all, I've spent a lot of time with these candles. It's been super fun revisiting some of the ones that I've recently hauled. I have some burn footage I'm going to share with you. I'm going to give you insight into strength and throw, how they evolved, and I'm ranking them on warm from my least favorite to my favorite. I will say that I like all of them. I really do. I would buy all of them again, and some of these I would buy on repeat. Some of them I have bought on repeat, so I'll share that with you as well. In last place, which I don't think I had burned this one before. This might have been new to me. I may have just picked this up at the outlet to give it a try. A little bit surprised it's so far down, but it's the Fireside from Bath & Body Works. It's okay. I feel like on warm it became really one-dimensional, and it kind of really does just smell like a fireplace to me. I think I wanted more complexity, and if I want something fireplace-like, I would rather burn the Christmas Cabin. So this is nice if you want something just kind of woody and smoky and very simple. I would say pick up Fireside, but for me, I found it to be a little bit boring. The strength was surprisingly light given it's a smoky candle. That might be because of its age. This is poured in 2023, so it's a couple years old, but it just didn't have very much strength, and it did fill out the space, but it was so mild I could barely smell it when I went into the bathroom. So this one is last place. Happy I have it, but it wouldn't be a go-to for me. This one bumped down quite a bit compared to the lit review I did with this collection, because I do have some other ones here that are better, and that is the Fall Fireside. Again, I still really, really like this fragrance, but the smokiness in this is a little bit much. And I think the ones that are in front of it feel a little more well-balanced, maybe even a little more complex. The smokiness does turn down on warm, but I feel like it gets a little bit cologne-y. You get a smoky cinnamon. It's very woody. It also had issues with being a low, slow burn, which was true in the burn footage that I shared with my lit review episode. I do feel like there's a hint of something that smells a little bit like tobacco, a little bit sweet. So it's nice. I think, again, like with Fireside, I just want a little bit more complexity. If I was going to choose amongst all the ones in this collection, this one would not be my top choice. It's still delicious and amazing, but there are other ones that are better. The surprise of this group is the Village Candle Forbidden Forest, and honestly, the next three are kind of all on the same level to me, and I could interchange them in their position. This one you could probably bump up two more, and I would agree. It's much better on warm, and actually, I was surprised this one had some good strength and throw. Wasn't a powerhouse, but it was medium, which for Village is good. I really wasn't expecting how much pine fragrance I was going to get with this on warm. It is very piney. It is very fresh and woody, but in the like sappy, sharp pine vibe. You do get a hint of smokiness, but it just adds what feels like this woodiness to it. It's not like liquid smoke or overpowering. This is just a beautiful pine fragrance that I feel like doesn't read too much like Christmas or winter. It just feels like a fresh, clean pine fragrance that doesn't go too far the way of something like a Pine Sol. So I did really enjoy this one. I bumped it up. I think this was in last place with the cold impressions. And I actually would rebuy this probably in the larger jar going forward. Next, which this one also surprised me because HomeWorx doesn't usually have fragrance, but I would do the Mischief and Magic. Now this one, I don't know if this will come back this year. This one is not from this, I think it might be from this past season. It might be even older than that because the date on the bottom, it looks like it might be from 21. And again, I got this with shop cash, so you never know how old these are. I did actually get strength out of this one. Again, it's not a beast. It's not a powerhouse. It was medium at best, but for HomeWorx, like with Village, medium strength is good because usually these feel unscented to me. So this one is really, really pretty on warm. The woodiness that's in here feels a little bit like an old attic or like a cabin that's a little bit dusty. The cherry wood definitely makes me think of like smoking meat. It gives me like smoker vibes, but it's also kind of fruity and just a deep cherry note that's kind of subtle and just kind of an undercurrent of what feels like cherry sweetness in there. I do think that the cinnamon feels very warm. It's just very light, not too spicy. Just add some warmth to help counteract that abrasiveness of the smoke note that's in here. It did take a long time to pool out, and I also saw some wick fallout. So something to consider, which is also relatively normal with HomeWorx because of their thin curly wicks. They become fragile and self-managing and sometimes break off into the wax pool. In terms of throw, it was a little bit elusive. I felt like where I could find it in the room, it was medium strength, but if I was kind of sitting next to it, I couldn't smell it quite as well, and it ended up being lower strength. So the throw is there, but it's not going to fill the space. It kind of just moves around the room. Next, I'm going to do Stranger Things, the Upside Down. Again, this one I feel like you could interchange with the Village and the HomeWorx in where they are in rank order. I love this fragrance. This one actually got bumped down a little bit in kind of this segment because I feel like it's a little too overpowering in terms of strength. It is very strong on warm. It also reads a little bit incensey to me on warm. It's not a bad thing, but it just started to feel really heavy and like a lot, to the point where I was kind of opening the door and like doing one of these to help the room like clear out, because it was also coming up into the open concept space, going around the corner and going upstairs into my bedroom / bathroom area. So this thing can throw. It is really strong. I smell the smokiness in this. The hubs asked me why I was burning it in the smoky collection because he couldn't smell the smoke. And I was like, well, that's interesting. I'll take note of that. So just know it might be subtle enough for you not to pick up on it. It also does kind of read like the burning smell that you get when you light an incense. And so maybe that's just, he was thinking it just smelled like incense burning instead of a smoky note. Overall, it's very mysterious, kind of cologne-y, but not too cologne-y. I love it. I just think it's very strong. It's a very strong candle, and I don't know if I want that heaviness and it being that kind of like one-dimensional note. Next, and I put these three, same thing. I feel like you could kind of interchange the next three as well, but I did Bonfire Blanket. And this one I did in front of the other two because I feel like this one just doesn't scream smoky fall to me. There is a smoky woodiness in there, and it does actually remind me a lot of Marshmallow Fireside. The difference is, and this one is next on the list, is that this one is more ooey gooey. This one reads more body care to me. This one can go a little body care. That amber makes it a little bit perfumey, but I think this one is just straight up body care vanilla with a hint of smoke. So both of these are good. Again, I think you could kind of interchange these in the ranking. If you're buying from Goose Creek and you want to add one to your cart that's similar to this, choose this one. If you're shopping with Bath & Body Works and you want an ooey gooey, slightly perfumey marshmallow, get this one. And in terms of strength, I actually was a little bit surprised at how light the Marshmallow Fireside was. I swear I remember this thing being a beast, and I don't know if it's because this is an older candle, or maybe this one's just different and the newer ones might be stronger, but this was pretty light for me. I would say medium towards light in terms of strength. Did have good throw, and this one is medium with decent throw as well. And I would say that's kind of leaning towards light also. And then the next one that I feel like you could kind of interchange, gives off similar vibes, is the Moonlit Slowdance. This one is really, really pretty. Again, kind of reads a little bit body care from the sandalwood and the amber that's in here. I feel like I get a hint of like smoky vanilla from the whiskey. It's kind of like a slightly masculine meets like a slightly feminine marshmallow, smoky, gooey love. That's the best way I can describe it. I do really like it, but I do think it belongs in the same vein as these other two. I think if I had to choose among the three, I would go with this one, even though again, the strength is also kind of medium, leaning towards light. But I would be happy with any one of those, and they definitely belong together in terms of like a little sub-scent family in this collection. The next one is Christmas Cabin from Bath & Body Works. I really, really like this one. Firing this up just was so comforting to me. I only burn it at Christmas, so firing it up in August was like, oh, that's right, I love this candle. It is warm, cinnamon, spicy, smoky, woody. I have nothing negative to say about this candle. It is a beast. It has good strength. It has good throw. It is well balanced. The clove is strong. I swear I was getting a pine note in here despite the fact that there is no pine note in this fragrance. I love it. Highly recommend it, especially if you're looking for a good cinnamon clove, spicy, and smoky candle. Pumpkin Bonfire, number 4. And I think this one, I forget where this was on Cold Impression, but I may have bumped this one back because I really like 2 of them from Goose Creek. Now this is still gorgeous. I have no complaints about this candle whatsoever. It's good throw. I would rank this as medium to strong in terms of strength. Again, you get a sense of woodiness. You get a sense of that cinnamon. It feels like a cinnamon bark. So whereas this one, the Christmas Cabin, is like a good blend of spicy and woody cinnamon, this one just feels like woody cinnamon to me and like a dry woody cinnamon. It is earthy. It is warm. It's a little bit sweet. Oh, I love them. I love them all so much. Highly recommend that one as well. Number 3, I'm going to say is Campsite Embers. This is just phenomenal. I love the leather note in this. I love that it doesn't go too cologne-y, too masculine, or too kind of abrasive or off-putting with that leather note. The smokiness is so well done on warm. It really lightens up. That warm leather comes out, and I feel like you get this hint of smokiness from all of it. It just smells like the woods. It smells like you're in the woods next to a campfire wearing a leather jacket. It is phenomenal. If you like leather, you like smoky, and you like woods, you're going to want this one. And number 2, and I know some of y'all have smelled this one on cold already, and that brandy, is it the brandied apple, is throwing you off a little bit. I really love it. I love it so much. I just love the complexity of this candle. The brandied apple with the chestnuts, the charred chestnut is so nutty and deeply earthy. I feel like you get smokiness with it. You get this idea of there being leaves on the ground, and then that brandied apple just adds a hint of like boozy, sweet, syrupy apple to it. It is phenomenal. This one is also medium to strong strength, and it had good throw. I feel like I pick up on some woodiness in here despite the fact that it just says fallen leaves. I just think this is a phenomenal candle. I can't believe it beat out Pumpkin Bonfire, but if I was going on a deserted island and I could only choose one, it would be this one, which kind of breaks my heart a little bit to say, if I was choosing between that one and Pumpkin Bonfire. But y'all, if I was going to a deserted island and only could choose one in this whole collection, it's Holiday Embers. Oh, this was lovely to fire up again. Y'all, I love it so much. This one is so amazing. I literally let this get to full wax pool and was like, okay, I'm done now because I don't want it to disappear. This is all I have left, and I don't know if it'll be back this winter. On warm, it's just so beautiful. It's dry, it's woody. I feel like you get the sense of like a strong cedar note in here, but it's like a woody cedar. It's not a piney cedar note. That clove and cinnamon is really dry. You do get a hint of pine from the fir, but it almost smells more like a fir, like a garland almost. I wouldn't say it's necessarily like a tree. It kind of just feels like the branches that you cut down. And then you just get this warm, dry, smoky, woody note from the fireplace in here. This is so comforting. It's holidays, it's Christmas, it's winter. I love it so much. So if you see this pop up during the winter releases at Goose Creek, don't wait on it because this does sell out super fast. If you think you'll like it, snag 2. You can always return one. Yeah, it costs $5, but I'd rather have to send a candle back I didn't like than I would have missed out on a backup like I did last year. So I have regrets. I'm going to order 3 of these when they launch because I love this one so much. I never want to be without it. Assuming it relaunches. I don't know. All right, y'all. As I was doing this review, I was like, you know what? I haven't gotten my Kringle Halloween candles and those are going to be smoky. I haven't gotten my Goose Creek candles and those are going to be smoky. As I'm recording this, I don't have those yet. I'm not going to have the second round of Kringle Halloween candles yet. I'm not even going to have anything from like HomeWorx, if HomeWorx is releasing Halloween this year. I don't have some of the Yankee Halloweens yet. So there might have to be a follow-up episode similar to this that focuses just on Halloween smoky candles because this is just what I have in stock and what I have in my little spreadsheet when I do a word search for fireplace, smoky, embers, bonfire, right? That list is going to grow. So you might see a second video that focuses just on Halloween stuff. Alternatively, as I haul and review my Halloween candles, I might tell you where I would put those in the lineup with these here. Let me know if you have any questions. You can put those in the comments below. If you appreciated this review, go ahead and give me a thumbs up and be like Mary. If you have a suggestion, put it in the comments below. Send me an email. I love to spark some inspiration from y'all and your ideas of what you'd like to see on my channel. Also, make sure you're subscribed before you take off and watch your next YouTube video. I really appreciate you being here. You did have other choices today, and you chose to spend your time with me. So thank you, and I will see you in my next video. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.